Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. I'm Highlord Tamberlane, and this here in front of me is the High Clone Executioner, which comes to us from Para Bellum Games' new Conquest mass combat game. So I like this guy, first of all, because it's the first time we've seen any of the Spires who've had that crazy bioorganic look going on with them. It's the first time we've seen any that look remotely, vaguely, actually human, but then he's got this cool, crazy looking mask. Now, me personally, I'm not going to paint him up like a human at all. If he's lucky to even get this head, which he probably won't, it's going to end up looking like some kind of weird Keita Amamiya Z-Ram Knoll mask looking thing. So upon opening this, you get your command card with the little scanny code thingy there, so you'll need that. I am saving those just in case I actually get the chance to try the game out, which surprisingly, I actually have just about everything from the core set painted except for the Abomination. So we'll get on that too eventually. Inside, this is kind of cool. This is the first time I think I've seen their resin models, really. The detail looks pretty crisp, I gotta say. Looks pretty nice. Pretty solid, doesn't feel brittle or anything like that. It's got a nice heft to it for a resin model. Gonna need a little bit of cleanup along his weapons blade and shaft there, but that's okay. In my hand, we've got both heads and a base that just fell there. So we've got the cool, crazy faceless one. I'm probably just gonna go with the faceless one just because, you know, why not? I mean, it might look kind of cool with a weird plain white, you know, red dots on the forehead, no drama mask. I don't know. Out of curiosity, let's just see how big he is. I just so happen to have some other Spire models nearby, so let's give him a look and see. So here's a regular Spire clone. So you can see they're fairly similar sized. But then when we get into stuff like the Brute, who I can barely fit on the screen, it's a bit more of a troublesome issue. Looking at a human model from Conquest, this is one of the men-at-arms from the starter set. Again, pretty standard human size, and that's without a head on our model. So I'm going to get that head glued on. I mean, if I was a more diligent hobbyist, I would probably magnetize it, and if I end up really liking the game, we might just end up having multiples of these guys. Oh, I'm gonna have to clip that off. So, all right, let me get him all cleaned up, and then we'll get some other models and see how he compares to them. Well, we've gone ahead and put the head on our High Clone Executor here. Went with the faceless face mask. And one thing I also wanted to point out, I really appreciated the fact that Para Bellum had this sculpted in. You can see his leg details inside of the tunic, cloak, whatever, loincloth thingy, his robe. Oftentimes it seems like a lot of people just kind of chintz out on modeling those details in, but I do appreciate the fact that they're actually in there. I mean, I guess if it's a CG render originally, it's not that hard to put in, but it is appreciated. And again, I really like the casting of the model. Really nice and smooth, not very brittle at all. Good detail. And I grabbed a couple other models just in case you were curious. I don't actually own really any elf models. I do have an old Avatars of War Dark Elf Prince, and you can see he is absolutely dwarfed by our Executor here, but obviously he should be big. That's kind of what he does, and it's kind of his thing, and it's not like the Spire clone troopers are, you know, much different in that regard. Grabbing a couple other models, a Privateer Bloody Bradigan Pitt from the Mini Crate line, who forever seems to be doomed to clearance bins and bargain sales throughout the internet, but he is an awesome figure, just to give you a good sense of scale if you're going to use him in your own games. Good old Kerouac, my absolute favorite Mears model. You can see him here. Almost matches him in size, and considering the scale of most Mears models, I mean, Kerouac's a big dude, so, you know, take that for what it is. A Protoss Empire of Man, I forget what the name of this, the bad guy wannabe Eldar things are, but you can see this is more true scale because I have a Frostgrave figure here with her, and yeah, they're just, I mean, this would be kind of a cool enemy in Frostgrave. I was thinking some kind of like a golem or I don't know if there's any other artificial animated constructs or anything like that, but yeah. Sometimes Para Bellum's scale being what it is, I think is going to work to its advantage if you're going to get creative with it. I think there's a lot of interesting possibilities you can use with a model like this I went ahead and ran upstairs and grabbed my Ferromancer and Biomancer, if you're curious what they look like in comparison. Ferromancer being a fair bit taller. Biomancer still, sadly, does not have any paint on him. And again, they're both more the mage equivalent, and they've got all kinds of extra flash and bling hanging off of them. And I can't believe, but we actually forgot our perennial witch hunter friend. While he may be dwarfed, his feathers give him that extra advantage. Any other things I have handy? Let's see. Another Avatar's a war model just hanging around here. A little bit more in scale if you want to use it as some kind of a Slaneshi or Tzeentchian champion. That might be a cool idea. I think it might work. Of course, it might work with the Biomancer and Ferromancer too. If you wanted to go Durs and have him hang out with the clones, that would work probably as well. Sadly, this is about the only unpainted other Raging Heroes model I have. She's a little bit taller, but then again, I think with the Beheaders, they were a little bit bigger to begin with, so they can give them a good run for the money. Don't have any Stormcast handy, sadly. I'll try to see what they look like in comparison, probably when I get him finished. I am eagerly looking forward to painting this guy. I was greatly anticipating this model. I really like it, and actually, you know what it reminds me of? The Sword of Yanid or Yaneris or whatever the one red dude from the Triumvirate of Yanid is. I'm going to have to grab him now and have him hang out. I think they'd both be some pretty badass swordsmen hanging out on the battlefield. Unless he's actually, you know, being used for his purpose in a game of Conquest. If I do end up getting more, I absolutely am going to put one with the face mask and give him some kind of crazy Amamiya 90s grim dark tokusatsu look to him. So that should be interesting as well. In the meantime, hopefully you found this useful, and I am going to say my farewells here. This has been Highlord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying see you later. Bye-bye.